Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to talk about speculation for the worldwide download celebration and one of the possible themes that we could see. This is something that people have been speculating for some time as an overarching theme. Obviously, it could be something more specific depending on the exact characters that are chosen, but it's something that people have wanted to see for a while, and it's something that could definitely introduce some very interesting buffs into the game, and that is to look at a worldwide celebration idea that is themed around movies. Now, if movies is like an overarching theme, that means that they don't have to stay specifically locked into like one or two movies, right? They can have a bunch of stuff spread out across the entire celebration, because the worldwide celebration takes up most of September. It starts late August, and then I think the next Dokkan Fest ends up coming out either right at the end of September or like the 1st of October. So it lasts for pretty much a whole month. It has the two big parts where we get four big banners, right? Two LRs. Last year we had the two Dokkan Fests and then two carnivals. The previous year with Cooler, it was the Dokkan Fest X Carnival. So we don't really know what the format is going to be for this year, but we should still be getting four new LRs. And so rather than that necessarily being two specific movies, it could be spread across a whole bunch of stuff. We have no way to know, so we're going to speculate a little bit about some stuff we could see. But one of the reasons why I think people are leaning towards movies potentially being a thing this time around is the fact that we do have some information on these guys right here in the data for the game, the Int, LR, Goku and Piccolo. Now, these guys are from the Dead Zone movie, the movie version of the Garlic Jr. events. It's really interesting because out of all the characters that are related to the Garlic Jr. stuff in the game, these guys are the only ones that actually have the movie categories. We'll be talking about a couple of the other units in a minute, so you guys will see what I mean. But these guys have the update in the files that we've seen multiple times in the past. I think one of the first big ones we saw was when it happened with STRUI Goku, and then there was a recent one. I can't remember if it was AGL Bardock before Frieza came out. Or if it was another unit, but basically we see a certain update in the data for the unit's super attack, where it's essentially checking for their super attack level. And the reason why that update gets put in is because when a unit gets an easy A and you update their super attack from either 10 to 15 or 20 to 25 if it's an LR, their super attack obviously gets a different effect, and therefore the game has to differentiate between those two. So it puts in this thing to check the super attack level, right? So when that update happens in the game, it has now become a noticeable pattern that that unit then gets an easy A not long after that happens. And so this has happened in the data for the Int, Goku and Piccolo. So that means that these guys are going to get an easy A sometime soon. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be related to worldwide. Remember back to when they put the stickers and therefore the easy A spoiler for like the future androids in the files. And then even though the worldwide celebration ended up being Future Saga related, they didn't actually get their easy A during that celebration at all. So it was not related to the worldwide celebration. So this is in no way confirmation that the worldwide is either going to be movies related or in some way Dead Zone related, but it is certainly an interesting piece of information to take into account. So these guys getting an easy A would be pretty cool. I mean, these guys on release were okay, but were never anything crazy. But with some of the easy A's that we've seen lately, and if you think about Cell Max, just the quality of yellow coin LRs that have come out, like some of these guys could definitely get a very good easy A. So this could either be part of the worldwide celebration itself or even part of the countdown, who knows, because the other characters, as I said, related to the Dead Zone stuff is this AGL Gohan, who has been out for quite a while now. He came out in 2021, so even on global it was October, so he's almost 3 years old at this point. This guy could definitely get an easy A, and I feel like he'd be very, very good on some of these teams, right? He's on Bond of Master and Disciple, so he'd be on Beast Gohan's team. He is a character that stacks defense. He gives all allies 3 key and 58% defense, which is really nice. And then he has an active skill that heals you, gives him guard for the turn, and raises all allies defense by 20% for 2 turns. So his active skill, whilst the effect and condition obviously can't change, the active skill itself is still very, very useful. So if his passive gets a solid update, he could certainly be very good. He has a unit super with a unit whose name includes Piccolo. So obviously nowadays, like, we've got Orange Piccolo, who still can be a very useful unit on Beast Gohan's team. So this guy with an easy A could definitely be very, very good. But interestingly enough, remember, as I said, like, these guys don't get the movie categories. He's not on Movie Heroes, which is interesting because these guys are from the Dead Zone stuff, but they are specifically from the Dead Zone movie, whereas this guy is just from the Dragon Ball Z filler arc for Garlic Jr., and so is the Int Garlic Jr. So this guy with an Easy A could be really, really good because he is basically just straight up an extreme class allies support unit, recovers HP at the end of the turn if he gets hit. He has big bad bosses, decent link set as well, like Metamorphosis, Thirst for Conquest, Nightmare. So this guy with an Easy A could just be a very, very good auto-include on a bunch of these extreme teams because he's on Terrifying Conquerors, he's on Transformation Boost, so he could go on Broly's team. He's on Revenge, so when that gets updated and becomes a better team. He's also on Power of Wishes. Like, he's on a couple of good teams, and with an Easy A, he could be very, very good. Now, of course, if they wanted to consider the actual Dead Zone movie, we could see a new Garlic Jr. and a potential new Gohan, or even a new Goku/Goku Piccolo. But all of these guys could be involved in part of the celebration being themed around the Dead Zone. I don't know if we would necessarily see new units as these guys. I don't think they would necessarily be super hype like picks for a big celebration like the Worldwide, but if the overall theme was just movies in general, then of course these guys could be involved in some way, shape or form and get their Easy A's. So moving on to some of the more popular choices, I know a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to see something Broly related, especially this guy right here, right? The blue hair, like Super Saiyan restrained Broly. I think in Xenoverse he actually does have a different name. Because of course the big problem with this guy right here is that his name is Super Saiyan Broly, which means he has the same name as the Dragon Ball Super Broly, which means the AGL LR that just came out for the anniversary would share the same name as him. But getting a Super Saiyan Broly that transforms would certainly be very cool. But anything Broly related, I think I would definitely be excited for, because there's a lot of Easy A's that we could see, right? You know, whether we get a Super Saiyan Broly or we get a new legendary Super Saiyan Broly and he just starts off as legendary Super Saiyan Broly, this guy could get an Easy A, right? He was for Saiyan Day in 2021, so he is over 3 years old at this point now. Bardock was the Saiyan Day unit before him and already has an Easy A, so it's not like he's out of turn like to get an Easy A. Obviously there are older TURs than him that don't have Easy A's yet, but this guy could be really good because he can get a bunch of additional supers, he stacks, he gets extra damage reduction when you are fighting a Pure Saiyan or Hybrid Saiyan enemy, which of course with all the new content we've been getting where we're getting these tough events against super class enemies, he could actually have a chance to shine in those events. So he definitely needs to have this increased, right? He has a medium chance of his additionals becoming supers. We definitely need that to be at least a high chance. Maybe throw in like a guaranteed additional super if he's fighting a Goku or something like that. And then this could be really, really good Easy A. And of course, this guy right here, who I think is now the oldest LR in the game that doesn't have an Easy A. He came out even on Global May 2019. So he is over 5 years old at this point and does not have an Easy A. Now again, the problem is his name being Super Saiyan Broly. It makes it very awkward for pairing up with the other Brolys, especially if the new unit is a Super Saiyan Broly that transforms. Obviously, once he's transformed, the naming thing doesn't matter because transformed units can still link with the same name. But we don't want too many Super Saiyan Brolys running around on the team. But this guy getting an Easy A would be really, really good. Now, the thing with a Broly movie celebration, especially if we think about Broly movie 1, which is movie 8, right? We don't have a Super Saiyan Goku from that movie. So I brought up this guy just as a Super Saiyan Goku because he's an LR2. But the Goku that gets everyone's energy and delivers the finishing punch to Broly, we don't actually have him represented in the game at all. So that certainly would be an interesting addition. The only downside, of course, is it means it's another Super Saiyan Goku. And the funniest thing is, like, if he ends up being, like, say he was the Carnival LR and Broly was the Dokkan Fest LR, then that would be, what, the 4th Carnival Super Saiyan Goku? Well, sorry, no, is it the 3rd? It'd be the 4th LR Super Saiyan Goku, but it'd be the 3rd Carnival LR Super Saiyan Goku, because we have the Tech one and the STR one. So that would be certainly very interesting for them to do another Goku. Now, the idea that I've always thought would be quite interesting if we get another movie 8 Broly is to have the counterpart unit, even though I think it should still end with the Goku, with the Super Punch, whether that's after a standby or an exchange or something like that, have the unit start off as what is essentially this guy's unit super, where it's Trunks and Gohan. Because then these guys would still get all these categories like Super Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans. Obviously, they'd be on Joined Forces, Movie Heroes, Bond of Master and Disciple, Earthbred Fighters. They'd lose some of these Trunks-specific ones because obviously this unit is just Trunks. So he has things like Time Travelers and Vegeta Family. I know a lot of people would like to see Piccolo involved in the card as well, but then they would lose a lot of categories. You could have Vegeta involved in the card and they would at least still be on like Super Saiyans. But something that'd be very interesting is have these guys, have them stand by into Vegeta who can't attack, like when Vegeta's having his meltdown over Broly being the legendary Super Saiyan, and then you exchange into Super Saiyan Goku, they give him all of his energy, and he has the big punch. And that would be pretty cool, and it means we'd get an LR that wasn't just another Super Saiyan Goku, but obviously let me know what you guys think. If it was a movie 10 Broly, then obviously his counterpart would be potentially a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, but we already have quite a few movie 10 Brolys, including this guy. In fact, all the LR Brolys are from movie 10, because the STR one is as well, the STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. He is from movie 10. I think this guy is the only like proper movie 8 Broly. I guess technically the STR, the OG one, I think might be from movie 8, but yeah, I think it would be more likely to be a movie 8 Broly. If it's movie 10, I guess the counterpart would be Gohan. But I would definitely like to see something like these guys that then exchange into Goku and then a new Broly. But another option that I would definitely like to see would be something related to BOUJACK, because we haven't had a new BOUJACK unit in a while. We don't actually have a standalone full power BOUJACK Dokkan Fest. So we have this guy who is like, what, 7 years old at this point. Still doesn't have an easy A, so the next time we get any kind of BOUJACK related celebration, I would imagine that this guy would get one. But then of course we have the STR BOUJACK Dokkan Fest, who doesn't have his easy A yet. He was March 2021, so he's over 3 years old at this point. On JP, he is almost 4 years old, so him getting an easy A would certainly not be out of the question. And he could be very good. He of course transforms into full power BOUJACK, so if we get a new Dokkan Fest just starting off full power BOUJACK, and then this guy gets an easy A, then of course they would work really, really well together. In his base, he is a support unit, and then of course he transforms, and the two of them could go crazy together. Because we have the LR BOUJACK, who of course is BOUJACK with his minions, so he has a different name. So we need a standalone full power BOUJACK, and then throw out this guy's easy A, and then straight away that team could obviously be very, very good. So definitely something I'd be looking forward to, especially because I'm a big fan of the Gohan in the orange like drip, right? Gohan from the BOUJACK movie. I always liked the BOUJACK movie when I was younger, when it came to the OGZ movies. So a new Gohan would be very, very cool. Obviously we do have this guy who needs an easy A. He came out December 2020, so he's almost 4 years old now, so an easy A for him would certainly be very cool. Movie Heroes is obviously a crazy team. Movie Heroes character whose name includes Goku. Like, this Movie Heroes is a great team now. We could easily get this going on. Would be very, very cool. The only other Gohan I think from this movie, other than a free-to-play one, is we have this AGL support one. So he could get an easy A as well. And if you look at the bare bones of his kit, he's just a support unit for AGL and STR. So what I was thinking is we could get a Super Saiyan 1 Gohan in the orange outfit, who then transforms into Super Saiyan 2. He could potentially be STR, and then you give this guy an easy A. He's supporting AGL and STR. You could run him on that team as a floater, make that new Gohan like a really solid slot 1 unit, and then that could be very cool. He obviously could have the awakening. I mean, his transformation ability could essentially be part of almost like the support memory, right, where Goku saves him from BOUJACK. Someone did say in one of the streams as well, the idea of like him exchanging into the Z fighters. What would actually be kind of funny is Super Saiyan 1 Gohan, he exchanges into the Z fighters, so it could be like, I think Yamcha's there, right? So like Yamcha, Trunks, Vegeta, Piccolo, but they could be kind of like the GT Vegeta, where you get an attack off with them and then they get killed. And then the animation that comes up is obviously them beaten up on the floor by BOUJACK's minions, as that does happen in the movie. And then, like, Gohan going mad and transforming into Super Saiyan 2. with the whole like voice line, because he has the thing. I don't think it's in the support memory, and this guy obviously doesn't have a transformation active skill. But I always thought it was cool with the bit where he says I am my father's son, and then like goes crazy and powers up. Like that would be super cool as an active skill for a transformation. Have him transform into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. We could have a cool like redone version of this guy's super attack with the Kamehameha into like the diving punch thing. I think that would be very, very cool for a BOUJACK and Gohan to be the Carnival LR and Dokkan Fest LR. I don't really mind which one's which, right, as long as they're good. Extreme benefits from getting good Dokkan Fest LRs because of the categories they could have. Like if we take a look at who like a full power BOUJACK is on, I guess he doesn't have as many good extreme character teams. In Human Deeds, I think still desperately needs a good leader. Resurrected Warriors could do with a good new leader that was extreme. Movie bosses, we've had a few of them recently, same with full power. Terrifying Conquerors would be decent as well. Storied figures and legendary existence, not so much, but some of these categories could really do with a new unit that has a couple of 170s and then plus 30s for these. Whereas obviously characters like Gohan, we've got a lot of these like now movie heroes, full power. I mean, him being a Super Saiyan 2 leader for 200%, if he was the Carnival LR, would be kind of cool once we start getting some other Super Saiyan 2 Easy A's and stuff, but that category is kind of meh at the moment. But let me know what you guys think when it comes to movies. Obviously, there's a ton of other movies still to cover potentially, but I feel like these are some of the ones that we haven't really revisited in a while. I don't think we will necessarily see like Fusion Reborn or something like that again anytime soon, but you know, who knows. So a couple of different movie ideas. BOUJACK and Gohan I think would be really cool. Movie 8 Broly, and then like either a Super Saiyan Goku or the Z Fighters in any way, shape or form, and then exchanging into Goku at the end I think would be cool. And then with the potential Easy A that we've seen for these guys, having a couple of the units related to the Dead Zone. I mean, they could do a Dokkan Fest or Carnival Garlic Jr. He could start off as the young, like small one and transform into the full power one, and then have the Gohan as the other unit. But I don't know if those would be top pick choices in terms of hype. I don't think they would be anywhere near as hype for people as like BOUJACK and Gohan or Broly and Goku, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So if the worldwide celebration theme does end up being movies, what would you guys like to see combined in that celebration? Who would you like the 4 LRs to be across part 1 and part 2? Do let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.